Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So this one kind of hurts me to my heart to do because I like this guy, even though recently I've not been liking this guy. Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann is a known Twitter warrior going back a long time. In the old days, he used to be a Twitter warrior. I'll put it this way, he was on the side of angels. This time, not so much. Not so much. And I'm curious about where his side lies, meaning where does Keith Olbermann put his stake in the ground? Because I have to be honest, I honestly don't know. Let's take a look at this tweet for the moment. Look, anything that you're dealing with in regards to trying to discern truth, you know, what's true, what's false, or whatever else. How does what that person say comply with what takes place in the real world? Some of the stuff can be somewhat subjective, but there are certain things that are said. Let's take this look at Twitter for a moment. Right here. Keith Olbermann. It says, she's not the one stuck in the basement of a fucking embassy for the rest of her life, is she, Sonny? Now, Keith Olbermann right there is responding to a Julian Assange quote. Julian Assange was making reference to something concerning Hillary Clinton. Now, what Julian Assange was saying was perfectly true as a flat fact, and I was sure to see if my internet connection didn't just fall out. But whatever he was saying was somewhat of a flat fact from WikiLeaks. And so what is Keith Olbermann talking about? Why is Keith Olbermann angry at Julian Assange? My question to Keith Olbermann was, oh, Keith Olbermann, how you fallen from grace? Were the documents produced by WikiLeaks true or false? What exactly are you defending? I don't know anymore. Like, is Keith Olbermann just angry that Donald Trump is in office, so he just attacks Donald Trump, but doesn't necessarily look to see what the left is doing that's wrong? If so, Keith Olbermann's just an establishment Democrat, angry and shattered that Hillary Clinton lost the election. His world fell apart when Hillary Clinton lost the election. And never once did I hear Keith Olbermann bash Democrats for supporting some of the policies that he's angry at Trump about. Like, I just missed the boat on this. It's one thing if Keith Olbermann says, I have this moral center and I'm throwing my stake in the ground, and anything that goes awry from this moral center I'm having a go at. That's not what I see. That's not what I see at all. And I'm getting this Rachel Maddow-ish effect of this person only hits in one direction. If that's the point, then where's your core? Where's your core? Where do you put your stake in the ground? And can you honestly say you put your stake in the ground in this kind of quote-unquote lefty progressivism way? But at the same token, you don't necessarily see the issues that Democrats are going afoul of that poll. I said that poorly. I'm sorry. I said that immensely bad. But I'm just making this point of, if you're saying that this is my line in the sand and this is what I consider to be a lefty and this is what I consider to be progressivism and blah, 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 and Republicans are running afoul of that line, but Democrats are okay. Democrats don't run afoul of that line at all. Democrats are not warmongers. Democrats are not people who are willing to give tax cuts almost as just as likely as Republicans to give tax cuts. No. Democrats are not just as obsequious to Wall Street as the right is. Nope. My line in the sand doesn't see Democrats in that way. So they're perfectly okay with me. When Hillary Clinton lost that election, my world fell apart because Donald Trump, the moment that he took office, the world fell off a cliff. If that's the perspective of Keith Olbermann, because I gotta be honest, that seems like the perspective of Keith Olbermann when I see him on Twitter, then a hero has fallen. A hero has fallen. I like the guy because I remember what the guy was. And I understand that he may think that, oh my God, Donald Trump is an amazing threat. It's this feeling of, but certainly you understand that the Democratic Party is also an amazing threat. And that many of those threads that you have this go at Trump about also work for the Democratic Party the way the party is constructed right now. Honesty. integrity. Those are not bad things, particularly when you're talking about from the standpoint of somebody who's analyzing the news and media. It is impossible. It is completely impossible to look at current politics and have a go at Trump and pretend as if the things that you're having to go at Trump about don't necessarily apply to the other side also. Trump's tone may be over the top. Trump may be a belligerent buffoon. All those things may be true. The policies that he's going about, for the most part, are just Republican policies. I'm just making this point that if you're having a problem with one, looks like you would have also had the problem with the other. And I don't remember having Keith Olbermann bashing Obama for one issue after the next. In fact, Keith Olbermann didn't pop up until Trump took that office. Where was the resistance over the last 8 years? Tell me, Keith. Tell me, where was the resistance over the last 8 years? I understand you got fired from MSNBC at the point where whatever took place. And I understand that for whatever reason, you have a difficult personality when you're interacting with those people in those different executive offices and everything else. Fair enough. But you found a web show to hire you. I don't understand why the issues that you're now pushing and you're angry at Trump about, you weren't necessarily angry at the last president about. I don't understand. I fundamentally miss that point. That's what I miss. Why is the resistance? Why is Eminem and all these other people cropping up all of a sudden, having this idea of resistance? Why didn't it start now? What are you resisting and when did you start resisting it? When did you start resisting it? Are you telling me that the last 8 years in no way required this idea of quote-unquote resistance for the things that you yourself cared about? Obama was kicking Hispanics out the country left and right, and I didn't hear squat about resistance. Zero. Obama was bombing one country after the next. I heard squat about resistance. He was locking down one whistleblower after the next. I heard squat about resistance. Squat. Donald Trump takes out of office and does, for the most part, the same things that Obama is doing. And all of us said, oh my God, there's resistance. We gotta resist the menace. We have to resist. It just rings a little hollow. That's all. It just rings a little hollow. If you're going to resist something, be honest about what you're resisting. And be honest whether or not that goes from the right party or the left party. And if both parties are doing similar things, then it sounds like you need to be resisting both. That's not what I see at all. A hero has fallen. A hero has fallen. Or at the very least, our ability to perceive the fact that he wasn't a hero at all. Oh man, it just bites. That's all. I'll leave it at this because I don't want to belabor the point and repeat myself. And my wife says sometimes I repeat myself. So I'll leave it. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, write, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the